So, in this part, I'm going to be talking about a very small section of the game that is just there basically to give you a hint, in terms of gameplay sense. It's just there to give you a hint on how to progress to the next section of the game. But this part is in Foreside, and it is after a point where Paula gets kidnapped from some mysterious alien being in the shopping mall that just opens up in Foreside after I forget exactly what you do for that to happen, but when you go to this, when you go near this bar, or cafe as it is in the US version of the game, outside there is a commotion, and you find out that the guy from Tucson, the thief or whatever, Everdred, that helped you before, he's apparently he's almost like dead, almost. And when you finally talk to him, he obviously gives you the hint on what you're supposed to do next, which is the important part gameplay-wise, but he says something very intriguing and thought-provoking, I guess you could say, at least for me. He gives before he goes off to apparently die or whatever off screen, he says a short haiku that he had, and that haiku has some very interesting, at least for me, interpretations to it. So I'll show you the clip, and then I'll be back after. So, first off, he talks about kind of how this Monotoli guy, the mayor of the city, somehow got into possession of this Manny Manny statue, or his own Manny statue. That'll probably be used later on in another video when I specifically talk about that thing. Essentially, he's saying that this is where he derives his evil powers from, is this statue. But anyway, the interesting part I wanted to talk about in this video is, strangely enough, this short little haiku that he says before he goes off and supposedly dies, or seemingly dies. When on your way out, be sure that you say goodbye, then lock the door tight. Now, one thing I realized, I don't know the exact specifics that make something a haiku, but just another one of the three showing up, where I guess it has to be 3 lines or something like that, but I forget the rest of the rules about them. But that's kind of strange. This, I kind of look at it like someone could interpret this sort of like with carpenter from before, is that they could say, oh, it's just a little cute thing, just to be goofy or whatever, like, oh, you could see this as, say if you're, at least in America, I don't know, other countries, I hear they don't really worry too much about security as much as in terms of like home security or whatever as America, but we've always been taught for a pretty long time that whenever you leave your house, lock your doors and all that stuff. So say, oh yeah, when on your way out of the house, be sure that you say goodbye, then lock the door tight. And it's like, oh, okay, that's a cute little thing. But I don't know. For me, this means a lot more on a metaphysical level or whatever. This is trying to say, like, on the idea of when Matt would talk about, or he would always call it, I guess from A Christmas Carol or whatever that story is, with Scrooge or Jacob Marley Chains or whatever, like, when on your way out, which makes sense here because he's apparently dying, so he's when on your way out, like on the day of your death or whatever, the day of your life, whatever you want to call it, when on your way out, be sure that you say goodbye. And I would say goodbye to everything of this physical world. Do not carry any baggage or regrets with you that you carried in your physical life. Resolve any problems or just any connections, whatever you want to say, to people that you had in your life, your physical meatbag life, and then lock the door tight. Make sure that you never go back, or make sure that you never want to go back, I guess you could say, is that you never have the desire or the doubt to want to turn back from after that point, kind of thing. Like, when you are going out, don't look back and don't have anything behind you holding you down like an anchor. And I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems like pretty clear that's what it's saying. I don't know. That's just, my interpretation. That's just seems pretty clear what it's saying. And it's so strange, even though this game has so many other metaphysical things it talks about that probably shouldn't be in like a kid's game technically or whatever. So many themes like that, but it is just so weird that it would just kind of come up here. But yeah, like, when on your way out, be sure that you say goodbye, then lock the door tight behind you. Don't ever go back, and, who knows what the potential repercussions are if you do decide to look back or whatever. It might just be, I don't know, anything. I don't know, anything that you could believe, I guess. Like, maybe you go to whatever your prescribed religion's like form of hell or something like that, or I think potentially, the abyss or whatever, like your soul goes to the abyss. I don't know. I mean, with some of the themes in this game, at least, I would probably think more so, maybe, I might be making too many assumptions there, but, going back to another body, just being, just waking up in another meat suit or whatever, being rebirthed in the same physical world again to do the cycle again. I think it could be any kind of, repercussions you could potentially possibly imagine. And possibly that's that will be whatever you imagine is what happens on the day of your life, the day of your death, whatever. And that's just what I think this little haiku is saying, that I found very interesting just to have it appear here, like just kind of out of nowhere almost, is something I would say in that regards is very profound in what its message is there. Like, you know, don't have any Jacob Marley chains holding you back. Don't look back on that day, on that moment, and that's all you kind of have to potentially consider, or just all you have to ever really worry about on that day is just don't have anything holding you back. Don't have any anchors, don't have any weights. So yeah, I think that was a pretty straightforward and short thing I wanted to get through there, but obviously I thought that was a very worthwhile thing to kind of analyze and look into, more than just like, oh, it was just a cute little haiku or whatever. I think that has a lot of meaning to it. At least for me, I could see a lot of what that's saying and take from it. But yeah, probably a pretty short episode, just like the last one, but interesting nonetheless. And well, like I said, thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.